Okay, today we will be looking at volume of spheres. Let's go ahead and go all the way down here and look at what a sphere looks like. It's just like your basketball, your baseball. Let's go ahead and expand this. Now through this little foldable, we're just going to explore where the sphere formula came from, okay? And then remember that your star chart gives you the formula for a volume of a sphere. Now when we have a sphere here, related shape, notice how the sphere doesn't really have a base like our other shapes, but we can tell that there's a related shape here, and that is going to be our circle. We can almost trace our circle right here. Sphere's like saying a 3D circle, right? Now let's figure out the area of that related shape. Remember that the area of a circle is pi r squared. And now let's go ahead and explore what the height would be. There's not really a height, but remember, if I draw a line from here to here, it could almost be a height, and it's the same distance as that radius. So this is also a radius. So this kind of helps us understand a little bit where our formula comes from. However, our formula also has the fraction 4/3. So the volume of a sphere is 4/3, the pi and the r, but let's look at how many r's we have. We have 2, and then 1 is 3. So that is actually our formula for volume of a sphere. Okay, let's go ahead and run through an example here. Let's say that the radius is 2. All you have to do is just plug into the radius and make sure that you're using radius. There's no extra additional work. Actually, sphere is the easier formula. So it's 4/3 times 3.14 for pi. And if my radius is 2, then it's just 2 cubed. Okay, so let's go over what that would look like in your calculator. You're going to do math, y equals, nope, alpha, y equals, sorry. And you're going to type in your 4/3 times your 3.14 times the radius, which is 2. Now let me show you how you can put that 3 up there. You're going to use this little arrow up here. It's right above the division sign. So when you click on that, now there's a little box up there, so you can write to the 3rd power. Okay, use the arrow to get out of that. And now what we wrote here on the calculator looks exactly like what we wrote here on paper. And here we go. Let's go ahead and just round it to the nearest 10th. So that will be this one, 0.4. You have a 9 right next to it. That means this will turn into a 5. So 33.5. And that is units cubed, since it's volume. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a couple more examples from our notes. Here we go. Here's a sphere, and it tells us that the radius is 5 inches. So let's go ahead and first you copy down the formula. 4/3 pi r cubed. There's no capital letter, no nothing, so all you have to do is just make sure that you're using the correct radius, and then you're good to go. So let's put numbers to that. 4/3 instead of pi is 3.14, and the radius is 5, and it will be cubed. Remember that it's going to be a 3 up here. That could be a common mistake. So make sure that on your calculator, when you're putting in your numbers, you're writing in a 3. So 4/3 times 3.14 times 5 to the 3rd. And here we go. 523.3 repeating. It kind of keeps going. So we can just write 523.3. I'll just take that. 523.3. And that will be inches cubed. Okay, let's go through another example. Again, first step is to write down the formula. And then you're going to look at your numbers. So 4/3 times 3.14 times, they didn't give me the radius, they gave me diameter. So if you go back to your notes, remember that you need to memorize this. How do I go from diameter to radius? You divide by 2. So you have to figure out the radius here. You just divide the 2.4 by 2, and you get that the radius is 1.2. That's going to be the common mistake with this formula. It's a pretty easy formula, but if they give you diameter, you need to cut that into a radius. So it's 1.2 cubed. So it's the only thing to look out for all of these formulas and all of our shapes. If they give you diameter, you need to make that into a radius. You cannot use the diameter number for any of the formulas. So let's go ahead and set that up. 4/3 times 3.14 times 1.2 cubed. And let's round to the nearest 10th. I have a 3 next to the 2. That means the 2 stays the same. So it's 7.2. And that is meters cubed. Now let's look at an example of a word problem. If you have a word problem, just draw the picture. It does not need to be perfect, just draw it. A globe is a map of Earth shaped like a sphere. So whenever they give you the name of a shape, just go ahead and draw it. You can just draw a circle, that's fine. What is the volume of a globe with a diameter of 16 inches? So it's diameter what they give me. Let's go ahead and write down the formula to see what I need. 4/3 pi r cubed. 4/3 instead of pi is 3.14 times the radius. Oh, they didn't give me radius, they gave me diameter. So remember, it's your job to cut that diameter in 2. So you divide by 2 to get the radius, and that's what you can use on your formula. Again, very important, they're asking you for radius, do not use the diameter. You'll get the wrong answer. Okay, so I'm going to use the 8 to the 3rd, and once again, 4/3 times 3.14 times 8 cubed, and here we go, 2,143.57. Let's round to the nearest 10. I have a 7 next to that. That means the 5 becomes a 6. So 2,143.6, and that is inches cubed. Okay, so again, the most important thing to remember is if they give you diameter, you need to turn that into a radius and make sure that you're putting to the 3rd power on the calculator. Thank you.